your sparkling spectrum eye. And how is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their summer. I know I definitely am. It has been a lovely summer so far. And I will just get right into it. This is a kit up and chat, so a little different than a whip and chat because I am kitting up a new kit. I am kitting up the Sanderson Sisters by Cheryl Baker. This is a Diamond Art Club kit, and this is actually the one you guys voted on. I had a vote in my community tab to see which kit I should do that would actually cover a couple of events. It would be Paws and Claws, and then the Cheryl Baker event, which I'm super excited about. And then actually, I'm gonna be triple dipping and doing this for also ABs in August, which I'm really excited because these are all events, all three events are events that I have not participated in before. So I think that'll be fun. So, and I will make sure to list all those events in the description, just in case you want to join in on the fun. All of them start in August. So I'm trying to get this kit up for August, just so it's all ready and I'm not doing it, you know, like at the last minute. So the kitting up system that I'm using, okay, so if any of you are new subscribers, or if you already know me, you know that I have probably too many whips, maybe. I have about 9. So I am technically kitting up my 10th whip right now. And you know what? It just is what it is. And so there's part of me that I was like, ooh, I might need a new storage system to kit up this 10th whip. But then I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to use something that I have already existing, because then that'll make me, you know, really finish something, and I won't be constantly buying new storage systems to accommodate all my different whips. So I have my art dot drawers here, which I am an affiliate. I started being an affiliate back in the fall. So if you do like these, I'll make sure to put my affiliate code down below, because you do get a little discount and free shipping. So, and then I don't really mention this a lot, guys, but anytime you use my affiliate links or anything, I always earn a small commission, but that commission goes immediately back into the channel. I use it for, you know, small shop hauls or unboxings or things of that nature. So just so you know, I don't really talk about that a whole lot, just because I'm one of those people that just like, I don't know why, I just feel really awkward talking about it. But yeah, so, oh, if you hear a little kitten, so, which, okay, brings me to new news. I'm just getting right into things, guys. So first of all, before I keep going though, thank you so much for all who voted. I really appreciate it. I think there were 2 kits that really I think would have been super fun. It was this one, the Sanderson Sisters by Cheryl Baker, or it was going to be the Pumpkin Herder. And there was a lot of votes. I was really like, wow, there's a lot, like, because I've done a voting once before, and like the amount of people who voted this time like almost tripled. So thank you so much for voting. I'm gonna get those last strays in there. Okay, there's a couple little strays here, but I think I can get them well. So as you can see, I've already started kitting this up. I wanted to get a head start because this is a pretty color heavy kit. It's 70 colors, which I think might make it my biggest color, or the most colors I've ever done. Now that'll change when I start my cross stitch conversion later this fall for the cross stitch conversion event that me and Sophie with the Diamond Help Desk and Anthony with Single and Placing will be hosting. But for right now, I think this is probably the most colors I've done, actually. So yeah, so we'll just this has 70 colors, so not much more than other kits I've worked on, but still more. I mean, even the Last Supper is only 68 colors, so this still beats it by 2. But yeah, so I'm gonna start kitting this up. I am going to refrain and not start on it until August, just because I'm still working on the Last Supper and I'm just enjoying that so much that I'm just like, I'm just not going to stop doing that anytime soon. In fact, most likely, even with other events that I'm doing, I'm always going to have the Last Supper out because I'm just enjoying that so much. And I actually have given myself a goal of when to finish it by. So we'll see if I meet that goal or not. But I'm going to try. We'll see. I was actually thinking about that too, guys, because like so far in 2023, I've had one finish. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, actually, I'm doing pretty good because here's why. I don't count my finishes like for the calendar year. So I don't do like all the finishes in 2023 and so on. I count from when I use my anniversaries from when I started diamond painting. So for example, I started in April of 2022. So my year goes from like April until, you know, like the following April. So for me, that means technically I'm only 3 months into my diamond painting year. So I actually think I'm doing pretty good. So that's how I'm gonna count it. So it works. All right, so also as you can see what I'm doing, I am just going to kit up all the drills. So for example, like this one, this 840. So I have it here. Oh, something's going on. Okay, sorry about that again, guys. I'll make sure to, sorry about that pause. That typically doesn't happen. But as I was saying before, so if I already have all of this kit up or all of this filling one and I need another one, I'm just putting on a label and doing that. So that's what I'm doing. So it works. All right, so let me see here. There we go. All right, I was on 898, so I'm almost there. There it is. So I did already get some of this kit up just because I'm like, 70 colors is a lot and I don't think I could fit it all into one video without it going super long. And of course, when I started kitting it up last night, I already made a, a major mistake and spilled one whole color everywhere. And I was like, oh dear. Thankfully, as soon as I did, contacted Diamond Art Club, told them what happened, and they are already sending me new drills for the drills that I spilled. So they are really awesome with their customer service, I have to say. So they are already like in the mail. It was awesome. So I will say that for Diamond Art Club, they always have really, really good customer service. And that's like just with any business, not even with diamond painting. They're just, they're really on top of it. So yeah, so I've got one color that I spilled heading out to me. So, all right, so kitting this up for 3 different events. I am gonna be triple dipping. So that's the first thing. And again, I'll make sure I post all those events down below and the people who are running them. Like none of these are my events. They're just events that I wanna participate in. And support those events. Again, they're sprinkling out. It's bad, guys. If there's like 1 or 2 left in the bag, I'm kind of like, I think I'll be okay. So gonna do that. Big news. So I posted it on my Instagram already, but big thing going on here is we got a new foster kitty. So for those of you who might be new, I have 3 cats and 3 dogs. And then in April of this year, my family started to foster just because our Humane Society here, and honestly, I've kind of heard like nationwide, they are just like really struggling. There's just like, just right after 4th of July alone, They had an intake of like 40 new animals because, they got out over 4th of July, or they weren't microchipped, or no one claimed them. There's a lot of surrenders. So our humane societies, I think, as a whole, are just really struggling. And I think they're still struggling post, even post COVID and everything. So we became fosters in April. And we had our first foster, who was Tonto. He was such a sweet little boy. He was a 2-year-old male cat, and just like sweet as can be. And sure enough, he did. He got adopted immediately, which was wonderful. So then we kind of took a break because we were going on vacation in the summer, and my daughter was doing swim every day. So I was kind of like, okay, let's take a break for a second, but then we'll be sure to adopt or to foster again. And what ended up happening, I was planning to wait until foster until the school year began again, because then I'm just like, my daughter's at school, I'm at home, and my time, it's crazy. Summer is busier than the school year for me. The school year is actually pretty straight laced, so to speak. There's a routine, whereas in the summer it's kind of busier almost because there's summer activities, and my daughter's home with me, and so yeah, things actually pick up. So I figured I'd wait until the school year, but sure enough, our Humane Society, because I follow them on Facebook, they pretty much posted how the shelter is legitimately in trouble because they were running out of space, and they had this whole new influx of animals, and it just wasn't good. So there was so when you're a foster, at least where I am, you're part of a private Facebook group, and what they do is they'll post what animals need fostering, and then you can comment on the post. So it's a really easy, streamlined system. And they had a few kitties that all had upper respiratory infections. And that's what we had done before. That's why we had Tonto, is he needed to just recover in a house instead of at the Humane Society, because those animal respiratory illnesses like kennel cough and all those things, they're just extremely contagious, and they can't adopt an animal out if it's sick. So they have to have it recover somewhere and not make it spread to the others, or else none of them are adopted until they get better. And then if they don't have space, and they can't take in new animals. So we had taken him on with an upper respiratory infection because we had a room, because I have 3 cats. So I was like, ooh, I don't know. But I actually have a separate room we don't use. It's kind of becoming the foster room. And so we were able to keep him isolated while he recovered from the other cats. And yeah, we had him for about a month. And yeah, sure enough, then he got adopted, and it was great, and found a new home. So this one, I had just found out there were more kittens that sure enough had the same thing. They had upper respiratory infections. And I was like, well, I can take them if I need to. So I contacted them, and there were 5 of them, which honestly now in hindsight, I'm really glad that probably something else happened, because I'm like, ooh, 5 cats, that would have been probably a lot. And my room isn't that big for fostering. And I'm just like, ooh, that probably would have been too much to have 5 cats in there, or 5 kittens, because they need room to, play and stuff like that as they're recovering. So thankfully, when I contacted them, I said, hey, if you really need it, I can take the 5 if you need it. And they actually were they had contacted me back, and they said, well, actually, we've got someone who's going to take all 5 already. I said, perfect. That's awesome. Because also, they had said maybe if they had to split them up, they could. But thankfully, someone was able to take all 5 of them. And so they didn't have to be all split up because they were siblings. So they told me that, and I'm like, great. Well, again, I'm always here if you need me to foster. I know you guys are really hard up right now. So, I'm happy to take any. And sure enough, 5 minutes later, they messaged me back, and they're like, wow, they said, we actually have one that she's a kitten, and we need her to gain some weight before she's adoptable. And she wasn't sick or anything, no URI, just this tiny little kitten who, so our Humane Society, they can't adopt kittens out until they're like a certain weight, just to make sure like they're healthy and things like that. So they asked me, they're like, well, do you think you could take her? And I was like, you know what? I think we can. Like, can you tell me like just a little bit about her? And so they told me, and basically she is, it kind of makes me sad because I'm like, she's the only kitten, so I have no idea what happened to her siblings or her mom. Like, I asked them, I'm like, did she come in with like her mom or siblings? And it doesn't sound like it, so I don't know what happened, which I'm like, oh, that's really sad. She is literally 6 weeks old. I mean, just barely 6 weeks old, like pretty much, almost a newborn, and weighs just barely over a pound, like 1 pound and 2 ounces. So she's got to get some more weight on her before she can be adopted. And also 6 weeks, it's just a little young to be adopting them out that young. So they were like, yeah, we kind of want to wait. And really, because she's like a healthy kitten and everything, she'd probably do better in a home right now. Also, maybe get her socialized a little more because, again, she doesn't have her siblings or her mom with her. So now I have adult cats, and so far we're kind of getting to know each other. Like, she's still in her own room. Like, she's not out and about with all my cats just because, again, she's so tiny. She's just so little. I'm just like, I can't believe how tiny she is. And so she's in her own room, but occasionally I've been kind of like, kind of just holding her and petting my cats by holding her so they can get used to it. So far, the 3 adult cats, they've done pretty well because with the first foster, our male cat, they were like, oh, they were not for it. Now, thankfully, again, that foster cat had to be in isolation anyway, so it wasn't like a huge deal. But this one, I'm like, well, she kind of needs to be out and about and socialize because, again, she doesn't have any of her siblings or anything. So I've kind of been getting the 3 adult cats, and they're all female too. And I don't know, I think like they were kind of hissy. They kind of hissed at her a little bit, but it wasn't like before with our previous foster where they were like not having any of it. So I think like they kind of instinctually know that, okay, this is a kitten, she's little, we don't have to be like super mean to her or super territorial. So far they're doing really well. And yeah, just like, we're gonna just try and get her to gain a little more weight and see how she does. And then hopefully we can find her, her new home because she's an absolute doll. She's super cute, super sweet. My daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, has named her Sunny. So that's her name. So if you do want to see Sunny, you can follow my Instagram, and then I'll probably honestly post it in the community tab too. I'll post a picture of her. So yeah, so that's probably the biggest thing right now is, having a new foster. We'll see how long we have her for. That's kind of the thing with fostering. There's really no set schedule. It's kind of like, when you take on a foster, you don't know. You may have it for a few weeks. You may have it for a couple of months. So that's kind of just something that is right now because of just how full shelters are and everything that's going on. So my guess is we'll have her for a little bit. But again, because she's a kitten and just most people they kind of want to adopt kittens more. I have a feeling she'll be adoptable pretty quickly. So we'll see. But yeah, so got the new foster, planning the 3 events, or not planning, but participating in. And yeah, I mean, summer's been going really good. I can't believe how fast it's going though. I feel like I'm just like, the other day I was at Target, and of course, I see the back to school stuff. And I'm just like, no. Like, I'm so not ready for that yet. But it's coming. Like, I hate to say that. I don't want to be the person who ruins the rest of your summers, but like, it's coming, guys. It just is what it is. Yeah. So getting ready for those events, taking care of foster kitty. What else has been going on? Oh, so Maggie, my daughter, she was in swim team. That's ended now. So she's got, a couple more weeks to just kind of chill, which I'm just so happy. I think her being in swim was really awesome. She got to meet a neighborhood friend in the mix. So she's got, someone in the neighborhood to hang out with. So I was just super excited about that. So I'm really glad that happened. And yeah, it's been really busy with summer activities. She did a volleyball camp last week, and that went well. Well, for the most part. I guess I could tell you this story. So actually, this is maybe, I'm curious about like all the moms out there, if you kind of think, I'm curious to see what you think. So she went to this volleyball camp, and it was just a 3-day camp, and that was at our university here. But what was really cool is it was coached by the university's volleyball team. And our university actually has a really good volleyball team. And so I'm like, oh, what a fun opportunity. Because my daughter, she's played volleyball. She's played now for a year. And she's good at it. Like, she's super tall for her age. So that, kind of works to her advantage. And yeah, she just kind of really, she's just good. She's just, like, part of it is I think she's kind of a natural at it. She's good at it. So we're like, oh, this would be fun. She can just like practice her skills, and she'd get to see the volleyball team that she likes to watch, because we try and go to the college games when we can, when the season started. And, we figured, oh, it'd be fun. So it was only like a 3-day camp for like maybe like 5 or 6 hours. And she was having fun. She was doing really great. Only each time she'd come home, she's like, well, she's like, this one kid in camp is kind of like teasing me and like things like that. And I was like, oh. Well, I said, well, how old is this camper? Because the thing is, with this volleyball camp, it ran from like 9-year-olds all the way up to middle schoolers. So I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if it's like a middle schooler or something like that. And so my daughter would talk to me about it. She's like, yeah, this girl, she just like kept looking at me purposely and rolling her eyes. And I said, oh, well, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And I said, that's not fun. I said, well, how old is this girl? She's like, well, she's a year older than me. So my daughter's going into 5th grade, and, my daughter's going into 4th grade, and this little girl was going into 5th grade. And I said, well, I'm like, I'm sorry about the eye rolling, but, just try to, ignore it, or you don't even have to be next to her or things like that. Cause I don't know, guys, I feel like this age, it's like that whole preteen age, and they do the eye rolls, they do all that stuff. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, and I kind of say, we kind of have the saying that I think a lot of people use. It's like, don't let her take rent space in your head for free. Just like, don't even, don't let her occupy your mind when, it's just not worth it. It's just totally not worth it. So she did, and she did like a really good job, like just ignoring it. And sure enough, like each day she'd come home, she's like, well, she did this and this. I said, I know, but try not to focus on it. And again, and we kind of have a rule too. I said, like the eye rolling and stuff, like we just kind of have to ignore. But I'm like, but however, if this girl's like calling you names, or of course like being physical, I'm like, you have to tell someone. Well, this girl, I guess, ended up on the 2nd day, like, I guess they were doing rolling exercises down below, like rolling across the gym floor. And when it was Maggie's turn, like this girl, like purposely stomped on her hair when she was rolling. And I was like, what? So again, this is everything my daughter's telling me. Cause again, I'm not there, so I don't see everything. And I was like, wait, and I'm like, well, did you confront her about it? And she's like, yeah. And, I said, oh, you stepped on my hair, please be careful. And I was like, oh, well, that was a very nice, way to confront her about it, and that's the thing. My daughter, she is the least confrontational person. She's very black and white. She's very, she is the ultimate rule follower. And so she did. I'm like, I thought that was a really appropriate way, just saying, oh, please be careful. You stepped on my hair. And of course, this girl, I guess, was like, well, no, I didn't. And stop talking to me. I can do what I want. And just kind of gave her attitude back. So when she came home and told me all that, I said, well, did you tell a camp counselor about that? And she's like, well, no, Mom, I didn't. I just wanted to just forget about it. I said, okay, well, as long as you were comfortable with that, I'm just like, that's totally up to you too. So then finally the third day, So I get there a little early and I'm watching her and she's like in tears playing. And I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? So I kind of I kind of walk down the steps and I kind of call her over. Because here's the other thing, guys. I don't want to be that person that's like, I don't want to say helicopter mom. That's not what I mean. And I'm not even trying to say that's a bad thing. But it was just kind of like, I wanted her to be able to rely on her coaches and her teachers and things like that. But I could tell she was upset. So I was like, hey, what happened? And sure enough, one of the coaches comes over and she's like, oh, is everything okay? I said, well, yeah. And I said, we've had a little bit of bullying apparently. And she's like, oh, well, why didn't she tell us anything? I said, well, I guess she chose not to. And I said, we're still working on that, on telling when it's appropriate and things like that. And sure enough, this is what was interesting. They said, oh, well, can you point out the girl who was bullying you? And sure enough, Maggie did. And sure enough, the counselor was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And they were just like, well, this little girl has also pretty much been back talking us, not listening to directions, things like that. So it's kind of bad, but there's part of me, guys, that was kind of relieved in a way, because then I know I'm like, okay, she's not just targeting my kid. Because here's the thing, we've had experiences in the past where kids will specifically target Maggie. And so in a way, I was kind of relieved because I'm like, okay, this little girl, she's just mean to everyone. Not just my daughter, but everyone. And so they said, yeah, we were actually planning on calling her parents and letting them know that she's not going to be welcome back to this camp if she continues to do that. And I was like, okay, well, so I was just like, well, this is between, that parent and the camp. I didn't, I wanted to stay out of it. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, I appreciate that. And, and again, guys, it's a lot of campers and it's like, I get it. I mean, I was a teacher for 12 years. It's so hard sometimes. You just don't catch everything and you try so much. So that's why, you really do. And that's why I'm trying to teach Maggie to be like, you have to, if something's really bothering you, you have to say something, because I think it's so hard to catch everything. And so that was that. So then Maggie, at the end of camp, Maggie kept playing and everything was good. Well, then it was like, okay, I was okay letting the counselors address things and everything. But then Maggie had told me, she's like, yeah, Mom, today was kind of rough. And I said, well, why? And she's like, well, this girl was doing something that she wasn't supposed to. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, kind of sounds like that's not new, according to what the counselor said. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but I was trying to be nice and just told her, I said, hey, if you do that, you're probably going to get in trouble. And so here's the thing too. My daughter is, again, the ultimate rule follower. And there probably are times where it may come across as tattletaling. And so we've kind of been talking about that. We talk about that with our therapist too, because my daughter does see a therapist of the difference between telling just to tell, or telling because it's a safety issue and things like that. And I said, well, how did you approach that? And she was like, well, I just said, that, hey, if you keep doing that, you might get in trouble. You probably shouldn't do that. And I was like, okay. And I said, did you feel like it was about anyone's safety or anything? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, again, that's maybe something to, it's so tough, guys. And again, feel free to let me know in the comments like what you would have done or what you thought, because again, I am also the least confrontational person. I'm one of those people, like if someone gets my order wrong at a restaurant, I don't correct them. I just take it. Because I don't like that. I'm just very, very awkward when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I said, well, I understand that, you told her and all that. So I guess when my daughter told her, this little girl was like, well, I can do whatever I want and you can't tell me anything. So Maggie just walked away, which I was really proud of. And she's like, yeah, Mom, I just walked away because I knew there was no point. I said, well, good for you. Well, here's what happened though. When she walked away, this little girl like yelled after her, yeah, you better keep walking. And I was like, oh, I don't know, guys. I was just like, that just sounds, I don't know. I just thought, I was like, that just sounds really threatening. I didn't think that was right. I really did not think that was right for a child to say that, because to me, that really did come across as threatening. So in the end, here's what happened. Is at the end of camp, this little girl's dad was like, I guess sitting right behind us, and I didn't realize it. And Maggie had pointed it out. She's like, yeah, that's the little girl, and that's her dad right there. So I did, guys. I actually went up to the father, and I was like, listen. I said, I am not. And guys, I was terrified because I'm like, I've never approached another parent about anything ever. And that maybe that's something I need to work on, but I'm just like, I am not a confrontational person. But I don't know, with that, like the whole like, oh, you better keep walking. Well, and then the fact that she did get physical with Maggie the day before, like by stepping on her hair, I was like, I'm just, this is at a point where it's like, this is ridiculous. So I did. So I actually went up to the dad and I was like, excuse me, sir, I'm not trying to cause trouble, but I said, from what I've gathered, your child has been, bullying my child and just making things not so pleasant for her during this camp. And I said, I just want to let you know that, everyone has a right to be at this camp and to enjoy it and to learn. And I feel like, your child really kind of, didn't allow my child to do that. And I just think that's really sad, because this should be something that everyone enjoys. And I just wanted to let you know that, your child did make it difficult for mine. And, if I were in your shoes, I would want to know. And so I just did it that way. And, I'm sure the dad was probably shocked. I mean, again, he's got like this random lady coming up to him and all that. And who knows? I don't know what happened. And he was just like, okay, well, thank you. And then just kind of walked away, which I'm just like, I don't know if I'd expect any other thing, because I'm like, I'd probably do the same thing if someone approached me. But, and we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what happened afterwards? I have no idea. I doubt Maggie will ever see this kid again. But I don't know, guys. I just felt like there was just, I just could not let that slide. So I don't know. Let me know what you would have done, because again, I'm like, it was the last day of camp anyways. So I'm like, would it have mattered because she wouldn't have seen this kid again? But at the same time, I'm like, you know what though? I kind of want it to be an example too to my daughter that's like, you can't let those things slide. And so yeah, anyways, that's what happened there. So I'd be curious what your thoughts are. Again, this is such an interesting age. And I feel like, we are getting into that tween and preteen stage. And I'm like, I know we're going to come across more of this. We came across it last school year, and I had to like talk to the school counselor and everything. And they had to work with this kid who was bullying Maggie. So I'm like, this isn't our first rodeo. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, I have like at the school, I let the school handle that, and it was good. I was very communicative with them. But I'm like, well, when it's outside of school and you notice it, like, what do you do, right? So yeah, I'm just kind of like, I think we are. I just think we're going to start, like, I'm hoping we don't see more of that, but, unfortunately, it wouldn't surprise me. So I hate thinking that way, but I'm just like, well, I guess we'll just see. But, so that was that. Besides that though, again, she really did enjoy volleyball camp. She really had fun. So I really think in all, it was a great experience for her. And sure enough, next week she's gonna go to church camp at our parish, and this will be her 3rd year, and she loves it. So, you know, I'm not worried about that, because first of all, they do not let that stuff slide at our church camp. They're a little more strict with that. So I think she'll have fun, but yeah, it was just, I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about that. I'm like, well, did I do the right thing? Did I, you know, approach? And again, when I approach him, I'm like, I spoke just like I'm speaking to you now. I don't raise my voice. I don't yell. That's not my thing. And again, I am very, like, I cannot stand confrontation. Like I said before, I am the person that if someone gets my order wrong, I just take it. I don't even mention. Yeah, I just am one of those people. But I don't want to be that kind of example too. Like, I want to be able to teach my daughter that, you know, it's okay to stand up for yourself. You don't, you know, that's something I have to work through with myself, that, you know, I did that for so long. So I'm like, I don't want my daughter to learn the same thing. You know, I want her to be able to have more autonomy over herself, probably more than I did at her age. So, but yeah, all right. So going through that. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, events, new foster kitty, camps, summer is just flying by. But what I did want to say, so first of all, let me show you. So see, I've got this all like kit up. And what I'm going to do though, is I'm going to put a number here. So this is numbers, looks like 40 through 62, or not 62. Oh no, yeah, it is 40 through 62, duh. So I'm just going to put a little tag here, 40 through 62. And I'm just going to stick it on the drawer right here. So I know that number's 40 through 62. So again, this way of kitting up, it's not my favorite, at least not for a kit this big. I love these for smaller kits, but for larger kits, it's not my favorite, but that's okay. Again, I really did not want to buy a new kitting up system because I was like, no, I'm gonna make myself finish something. So yeah, all right. But yeah, so getting ready for these events, I think that'll be fun. Oh, this package is really kind of like, it's almost like melted or something. Is that the same? Okay, there we go. Like trying to figure out where to cut here. Ah, and I just accidentally cut it open. Shoot. See, this is why I didn't do all 70 colors in front of you, because I'm like, I would have probably messed up even more between already spilling one whole color last night when I got to work on this and this. I'm just like, I don't know. I will say though, with kitting this particular kit up, I have not had any static, which has been lovely, because I always, it's like, I like kitting up, guys, but I gotta admit, it's not my favorite thing to do. And I was a little worried because I'm like, oh, this is 70 colors. Like, if it's all static, that's really not gonna be fun. But thankfully it has not been. Oh, and I hear my dogs. Someone must be and now my daughter's like, sorry guys. Okay. That was another thing too. Oh my gosh, like I did not sleep well last night because there must have been like an animal outside or something, because Charlotte are Great Pyrenees and they're like known to kind of be like guard dogs. They're great. Like they're originally bred to like, they're like livestock guardian dogs, but obviously we don't have livestock. So she's just kind of taken on protecting us. Oh my goodness. She would not stop barking last night. So the only thing I can think of is the last time she did that, there was like a deer in the neighborhood. Like somehow a deer wandered onto the golf course. And I really do think Charlotte sensed it because she wouldn't stop barking. So that's the only thing I can think of is that or here's another thing that's kind of weird. So we got a trampoline, and the other day we looked out and there was like a water bottle on the trampoline, and we were just like, okay, that's weird. And I asked Maggie, I'm like, Maggie, is that your water bottle out there? Did you leave one? And mom's like, and she's like, no, this isn't mine. And then sometimes my sister and her boys come over to like jump on the trampoline. And I asked her too, I'm like, is that your water bottle out there? And my sister was like, no, I didn't leave anything. So sure enough, we looked out there and yeah, like, so okay, our trampoline, like there's a net around it and everything. And so I'm like, how the heck did that water bottle get onto the trampoline? So the only thing I can think of is like, okay, there was someone who like threw it over and that'd be funny. Or like, I don't know, like, because we have a lot of teenagers too in our neighborhood, and like most of our teenagers are good, but like any teenager, some teenagers just do stupid things. I mean, as we all did as teenagers. But like, that's the only other thing I can think of. I'm like, ew, like, did like a group of kids like come in and like jump at night or I don't know. Because here's the thing too, like in our neighborhood, we have an HOA, so you have to have a certain type of fence. And it's just like those like iron fences that you can see through, like they're not privacy fences. And, you know, we have a gate and everything. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like maybe I need to put a lock on the gate. And I guess it's bad. Maybe I should have before. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. I'm like, why is this water bottle on the trampoline? Like, it's not ours. So I don't know. It was a little bizarre. And we have had like a string of thefts lately. So that's the only thing I can think of is like why Charlotte was barking so much. I don't know. Something's going on. Like we've had a couple of thefts in our neighborhood lately, and really just kind of in our city in general. Like I think our city is like big for theft, and it just, I don't know, it makes me sad. I don't like stealing. I don't get it. Like I've never understood stealing. But yeah, anyhow, this has kind of probably been a really weird kitten chat because I'm talking about everything. But what I want to get to, because I'm seeing I'm probably getting close to time, or I'm probably even maybe possibly over time. But I did want to talk about, so I said last week that, you know, I met the 1,000 subscribers, which I am so incredibly thankful for. And I really want to do a giveaway as a thank you because, you know, again, there would not be a channel without you guys. So so this is a video. So what I want you to do, okay, so I'm gonna have a giveaway, and what it's gonna be is in this giveaway, it's gonna be $50, like a $50 gift card to what diamond painting store you choose. So it can be, oh my gosh, it can be Diamond Art Club, it can be Dreamer Designs, it can be Craftably, it can be whatever diamond painting company you want, Lazy River Diamond Paintings, Mary's Diamonds, any of those. And I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna like do an e-gift card so I can just email it to you, and it's gonna be for $50. Or I would also be okay doing like an Etsy gift card. So if you wanna like spend it on your favorite small shops that you like in Etsy. So that's what the price is gonna be, a $50 e-gift card to what you choose if you win. And so in order to qualify for the giveaway, here's what you gotta do. You have to comment down below, and you have to, first of all, let me know how you're doing, because I love to hear from you. I love to hear what you're working on, what events you're participating in, all of that. And when you comment though, there's gonna be a word you have to use, and that word is summer. Okay, so just let me know how you're doing, but make sure to include the word summer, all right? And when you do that, next week when I go live, I'm gonna go live next Thursday on the 20th at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. That is when I'll choose the winner on my live right then and there. So, you know, I'll use a random generator, and that'll be who wins the $50 gift card. So like just as a thank you guys, I really do. I appreciate it so much. Oh, like another shop, Jada Jump Shop, I forgot to mention that one. So you guys all know, like all the different diamond painting shops is fine. So yeah, I really do want to do that as a thank you. So yeah, make sure you comment on this video in the comments, and make sure you use the word summer. So I am looking forward to just hearing how you're doing, what you're working on, and how your summers are going. And then sure enough, yes, next week on my live, I will announce the winner. So yeah, it's just something fun to look forward to. And again, guys, I cannot thank you enough for all your support and everything that you've done. I say it a lot, but it really is true. Like, there really is no channel without subscribers, and you guys have just, I'm just still amazed at how far how this journey has kind of taken me. Like, I started my channel less than a year ago. September will actually be my 1 year kind of YouTube anniversary, so to speak. So yeah, I didn't even think I'd get to 1,000, let alone 1,000 before a year. So just again, thank you so much for that. And you know, hopefully just this little $50 gift card. It's just a small token of my appreciation, and I really appreciate all your support. And yeah, just thank you so much. So yeah, another thing is to make sure you're kind of following my community tab and my Instagram if you are Instagram people, because probably another thing that I'm going to be doing is I've really been trying to like have more of a schedule, and I've seen other creators who like post their weekly schedules, and I'm just like, you know, that's a really good idea. And I think it would give me a little more consistency with some things, because I know I'm not always the most consistent. Like, I always try and do a weekly whip and chat. Like, I definitely try and do that. But like with other things or unboxings or small shop hauls or anything like that, it's just kind of, I like just kind of do it when I do it. But I want to try to at least have somewhat of a schedule, so you kind of know like when I'm going live and things like that, because I am going to be going live more. I'm kind of thinking probably like every other week is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to like have a calendar for that, and just kind of a calendar of like upcoming videos I'm going to be doing. Just really part of it is to keep me consistent, because I have a schedule for everything else in my life, because I do better with schedules. So for me, I'm like, well, I really probably should also be doing that with, you know, my channel and things like that. So, and then I'm kind of also thinking down the road, it's giving me some ideas for some other things too, that I'll probably share with you when we get closer to it. But there's some other things I'm thinking of too regarding just kind of the direction of the channel and things like that. So just because I am coming up on that 1 year, so I'm like, you know, kind of thinking about how I want to deal with things down the road. So yeah, ooh, I don't need that label. So, ooh, and I'm sorry guys, I probably just knocked you. Here we go. Here is the last one, which are the fun fairy dust diamonds. So that'll be fun, because yeah, in this kit, guys, there are 2 ABs and 2 fairy dust diamonds. So fun. All right, so here we go. Last one. Not too much static. Got that last one. All right, there we go. It is all kitted up. And so this is number 63 to 70. Make my little tab here so I know. 63 to 70. Stick that on, just like that, and there we go. All kitted up. So I've got I'm putting it over Mary's head. But yeah, so we're all kitted up. So I will be starting this kit in August for 3 different events. And again, I will make sure to post all those events down below. So you guys can join them if you want to. Again, I'm not doing these events, I'm just participating in them. So yeah, but I think that is about it, guys. We are all kit up, and I'm excited to do this piece. I think it will be fun. So we'll see how fast I can get this pumped out, but I like this. So probably what I'm going to be working on for the majority of August and September is this one, and then I'll still be working on the Last Supper. So probably in my next few whip and chats, I'll be going in between the two starting in August, so you can see, because I really don't want to give up on Last Supper right now or even put it away because I'm enjoying it so much. But I'm really excited for this one too, because I just think this is kind of a fun lead in into fall and everything that will be going on. So I think it'll be fun. But anyways, I hope everyone is well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other. Like I always say, I really hope this video brings you a little bit of joy, because it does. It always brings me joy making them. And I'll see you the next time. Bye.